As the daughter of the wicked supporting character, I too am wicked. I am the very daughter born to the malicious stepmother, the antagonist in this story, a complete opposite to Lin Shu, the gentle, noble, breathtakingly beautiful, exceptionally talented protagonist beloved by all men. I, on the other hand, possess a wicked, base, and ordinary nature with no notable talents. My destiny is merely to be a stepping stone, serving only to highlight Lin Shu's perfection. The moment my consciousness awakened, I made a firm decision. Fine, I'll play the villainess to perfection, highlighting the protagonist to the absolute maximum. I allied myself with Lin Shu's father's enemies, determined to bring down the Lin family company. I even drugged Zian Shen, the male lead, making him believe he had been intimate with me. I seized the opportunity to study abroad, an opportunity that rightfully belonged to Lin Shu, and then apprenticed myself to a renowned designer. That person was originally supposed to be her mentor. 7 years later, as a celebrated fashion designer, I sat on the judging panel of a competition and watched Lin Shu step onto the stage as a contestant. Immediately, I displayed the characteristic wickedness of a villainess. This design is utterly mediocre. You have no talent whatsoever. It's best you give up now. The moment the words left my lips, the entire hall erupted in gasps of astonishment. Perhaps no one expected Professor Diet Shang, usually so gentle and refined, to utter such scathing remarks live on air. Lin Shu stared at me, her eyes wide with shock. The two words, older sister, caught in her throat before they could even be spoken. I, however, didn't even spare her a glance, casually tossing her design aside before pressing the red buzzer. On stage, Ning Jiao, Lin Shu's model, immediately ran down, loudly challenging me. Such an outstanding design, and you say she has no talent? Among everyone here, who can compare to her work? In any Mary Sue novel, the protagonist always has a foolish but fiercely loyal best friend. And clearly, Ning Jiao was destined to be that character. Just hearing how she opened her mouth, making enemies for Lin Shu with all the other contestants, was enough to understand. Diet Shang, I think you're just jealous of Lin Shu, afraid she'll steal your spotlight. Jiao Jiao, stop talking. Just as Lin Shu tried to pull her friend away, Ning Jiao interjected, why shouldn't I speak? What right does someone like her have to sit as a judge? I'm not worthy? Then I'll yield my seat so you can all be judges there as you deem fit. I smiled, watching them, neither angry nor flustered. Lin Shu, flustered, lowered her head. Excuse us, Professor, we'll go down now. Wait. Just as Lin Shu was about to pull Ning Jiao off the stage, another voice rang out. As expected, he had arrived. The corner of my mouth secretly curled into a smile. The audience watching on screen was still curious about who had spoken when the camera immediately zoomed in on that face. A cold, handsome face suddenly appeared on screen, making everyone collectively gasp. He slowly walked up to Lin Shu, then turned to look at me. What do you find wrong with this design, Zian Shen? 7 years of separation, and now this reunion. In his deep eyes, emotions I couldn't decipher swirled. Was it hatred for me bullying Lin Shu, or disgust over what happened 7 years ago when I slept with him, or hatred for me stealing the study abroad scholarship that originally belonged to Lin Shu? Whatever the reason, it seemed to satisfy me. As long as they were unhappy, I was happy. So I offered a faint smile. I don't like it, it's as simple as that. The scene immediately fell silent. Zian Shen's face darkened, everyone realizing he was displeased. While the audience was still curious about his identity, he suddenly sneered. Since that's the case, let me make it clear, I am also a judge on this show. Before anyone could grasp his meaning, the screen showed him slowly walking towards me. I know him, he's the CEO of the Shen Group, everyone whispered. I heard the Shen Group invested in this program. I can't believe they actually got him to be a judge himself. Looking at the situation, it's probably not the organizers who invited him, but because of that contestant named Lin Shu. CEO Shen and Lin Shu clearly know each other. He might even be her backing. Earlier, Professor Diet treated Lin Shu like that, so isn't he here for revenge now? Hearing this, the crowd grew even more excited, their eyes wide and fixed on Zian Shen and me, anticipating a good show. I sat calmly in my judge's chair, watching him approach, finally taking the seat right beside me. His familiar scent inevitably filled the space. Feeling a slight discomfort, I subtly frowned, shifting my body away just a little. He seemed to halt for a second, his breath hitching. Just as I felt the air around us grow slightly colder, he pressed the green buzzer, declaring, I believe this design is outstanding and fully deserves a spot in the finals. He was clearly confronting me directly, openly defending Lin Shu. Lin Shu, who had been trying to suppress her emotions, finally couldn't hold back, her eyes reddened. Ning Jiao next to her looked at me with triumphant provocation. I merely raised an eyebrow, paying it no mind. I wasn't surprised that Zian Shen stepped up to help her. In fact, ever since I learned Lin Shu was participating in this show, I predicted Zian Shen would definitely appear. Where there's a protagonist, how can the male lead be absent from protecting her? I've disliked Diet Shang for a long time. Her designs are both ugly and expensive. I don't understand what she has to be so arrogant about. How disgraceful. CEO Shen is clearly extremely dissatisfied with her. After today, can she even remain in the industry? Remain? Offending CEO Shen's woman, I'm afraid the entire industry will blacklist her. The constant whispers and murmurs around me grew louder, eyes fixed on me with malicious glee. The world is quick to flatter and follow, and when they see someone fall, they clamor to stomp on them. The show's production team, eager to create a scandal, immediately zoomed their cameras onto my face, wanting to see my reaction. But I unexpectedly unclipped my mic, stood up and walked away, astonishing everyone. Zian Shen froze, his lips pressed together as he watched me. Seeing their prize catch about to slip away, staff members rushed over, trying to stop me. Professor Shang, if you need anything, just say it, we'll help you find it. The corner of my lips curved slightly. I didn't turn back. Find what? My gaze flicked to a corner. If you had told me earlier that this show already had a predetermined winner, I wouldn't have come. This charade for royalty to recite their lines, whoever wants to perform it, go ahead. Professor Shang, that's not true at all. Right in front of the cameras, the production team hastily denied everything. Don't look for me. I won't be involved in this kind of fraudulent activity. Casually glancing at the camera, I calmly displayed my firm stance. No matter who I offend, I cannot do something wrong to the contestants. You are all hardworking, diligent young people, very worthy of respect. The moment these words were spoken, the atmosphere in the live broadcast room changed. Oh my God, I truly empathize. These hateful capitalists, please stop seeing us ordinary people as mere pawns in your games. Professor Shang, I apologize for my previous sarcastic remarks. You are truly a very good person. Protect Diet Shang? The contestants in the studio, enraged by my words, immediately removed their contestant numbers and microphones, shouting, I quit. The show nearly descended into chaos, and the director hastily cut the live broadcast. Ning Jiao suddenly burst out from somewhere and unexpectedly slapped me. You hypocritical old fox, the entire studio erupted. Jiao Jiao, Lin Shu frantically ran to stop her. Zian Shen also stood up looking dazed, but whether it was because the lights were too bright or he was blind, he pulled me behind him before questioning Ning Jiao. What are you doing? CEO Shen, don't you see? She deliberately said that to make everyone criticize Lin Shu. Did I say anything wrong? Was any of my words not the truth? I stepped out from behind Zian Shen. Contestant Lin Shu and CEO Shen, are you not acquainted? Isn't CEO Shen an investor in this program? And didn't he just protect Lin Shu, ensuring her spot in the finals? Lin Shu made it to the finals based on her own merits. She absolutely deserves it. HMPH? I sneered, not bothering to reply, my eyes filled with sarcasm. Outside, someone quickly started a live stream the moment the show was cut. Curious netizens immediately flooded into this person's broadcast room. Diet Shang, you've liked CEO Shen since you were little, don't think I don't know? Huh, what's going on? These people have known each other since childhood. Turns out it's a bunch of old acquaintances arguing. That model said Diet Shang likes CEO Shen. Looking at the situation, it seems Diet Shang likes CEO Shen, but CEO Shen likes Lin Shu. Oh my God, this drama is too intense. While everyone eagerly listened in, my phone rang in front of the large crowd. I answered. What is it, sweetie? Nyan Mrs. Mommy? Okay, Mommy's coming home right away. I hung up, ignoring everyone's astonished and confused stares. I'm not continuing with this show. For contract compensation, contact my assistant. I'm not short on money now. I turned to leave but was suddenly stopped. It was Zian Shen. His face was stern as he stared at me. Who were you just on the phone with? His hand gripped my wrist a little too tightly, causing slight pain. I frowned, trying to pull away several times but couldn't. My face was expressionless. CEO Shen, with so many people watching, please save face. Whose child? He suddenly erupted in anger, startling everyone around. I'm asking you, whose child is that? Lin Shu stared at him, then at me, looking bewildered. CEO Shen, whose child it is, what does that have to do with you? It's certainly not yours. I glanced around, a faint smile on my lips. Oh, you're making it easy for people to misunderstand that there's something murky between us. If you don't let go, tomorrow the rumor might turn into. My gaze locked onto him. Your child. I could see his eyelashes tremble slightly. He was choked and speechless. Satisfied, I yanked my hand free, curved my lips into a smile, and walked away. Scared him half to death. My assistant parked the car at the back entrance of the TV station. Just as I was about to get in, Ning Jiao aggressively ran up. Diet Shang, aren't you shameless? Unmarried and already have a child? I raised my hand and slapped her across the face. A bright red handprint appeared on Ning Jiao's cheek. She froze for a few seconds, then immediately burst into a rage. You dare hit me. I raised my hand again and gave her another slap on the other cheek. That way it would be balanced, truly satisfying. Consider these 2 slaps as repayment, and the extra one is a bonus, no need to thank me. Diet Shang, I'll fight you to the death. Seeing the situation was getting out of hand, my assistant quickly got out of the car and shielded me. I calmly watched Ning Jiao, who was fuming like a mad dog. Mad dog, don't always shriek like that, it's really rude. What nobility. That year, you secretly altered Lin Shu's study abroad application and stole her chance to go overseas. If you hadn't gotten that impressive resume, how would Grandmaster Qin have accepted you as a disciple? Whether Professor Shang was accepted by Grandmaster Qin as a disciple was determined by her own abilities. What does it have to do with you people? How arrogant. My assistant retorted indignantly. I smiled faintly. Why bother explaining so much? Yes, I swapped Lin Shu's resume. I am that wicked. If you're not happy, go report it to the police. Kindness is just a fashionable accessory for those who have everything. Why would I keep it? Ning Jiao snorted, glancing behind me. What do you have to be proud of? You're just an orphan taken in by the Lin family. Lin Shu surpasses you in every aspect, from beauty, family background, to talent, and everyone loves her more than you. I'm a human, not a dog, so I'm not good at flattering others like you are. We're all too familiar with how you used to fawn over Ziyan Shen. Someone like you, Ziyan Shen will never, ever like. Oh, please. You can criticize my character, but don't insult my aesthetic taste. Who said I like Ziyan Shen? Sister? Lin Shu's voice rang out from behind. I turned my head and saw Ziyan Shen standing there too. He looked at me with cold eyes as if I owed him a huge sum of money. Not wanting to waste words, I pulled the car door open, intending to get in. Just as I was about to slam the door shut, Ziyan Shen unexpectedly blocked it. We need to talk. Initially, I intended to refuse, but seeing Ning Jiao's eyes wide and jaw dropped as if she couldn't believe her ears, and Lin Shu stunned, then lowering her head, looking wronged, my refusal caught in my throat. I changed my tone. All right, are you getting in? Hearing this, Ziyan Shen didn't hesitate, immediately nodding, completely disregarding any potential misunderstanding from Lin Shu. He gestured for me to move inside. I subtly smirked and slid further in. The car door closed, and the car quickly drove away, leaving Lin Shu and Ning Jiao behind. What about the child? CEO Shen, do I have to report to you even about giving birth? Are you also in charge of household registration? Don't try to avoid me. Ziyan Shen suppressed his anger, his eyes fixed on me sternly. I'm just asking you, is that child mine? Guess, I replied calmly. Doesn't CEO Shen trust his own abilities? He paused for a moment. The next time he spoke, his voice was slightly shaky. So the child is mine. I almost burst out laughing, but seeing his pale face, I managed to hold it in. That's right. Although there's no love between us, the child carries your blood, so you should at least contribute to the upbringing costs, shouldn't you? His teeth clenched, his eyes reddened. Why did you hide this from me for so many years? Was he provoked to tears by me or crying out of disgust? If I had told you earlier, what if you forced me to have an abortion? He choked, his breathing becoming more rapid. Do you think I'm that kind of person? CEO Shen, now that you know, then the child's support. I extended my hand towards him. He forcefully slapped my hand away, glared at me, then turned his face to look out the window. I felt a little wronged, rubbing my still sore palm. Don't want to give money? Fine. Actually, I was just tricking him. If you don't give it, then in a few days you'll come home with me. Go home for what? Don't you want me to take responsibility for the child? You can just transfer the money. Online payment is very convenient these days. Diet Shang? Ziyan Shen gritted his teeth, trying to control his anger. What kind of person do you take me for? You bore my child, how can I just give you money? Then what do you mean? Let's get married. I kicked Ziyan Shen out of the car in the middle of the road. This person has definitely gone mad. It's understandable, though. A 6-year-old child suddenly appearing. Who wouldn't go crazy after hearing that? Sister Diet, why did you talk to that woman like that just now? You clearly never stole her resume. You only became Grandmaster Qin's disciple after 2 years of persistence, didn't you? My assistant asked me, puzzled. I reined in my thoughts, indifferently replying, what I like most is seeing them hate me to the bone, but be utterly powerless to do anything about it. My self-awareness began in my 11th year of school. At that time, I was diligently practicing piano to participate in the New Year's cultural performance. I had practiced for a whole month, but when it was time to go on stage, I was replaced. The reason was that the teacher said Lin Shu played better than me. At that time, Lin Shu even waved her hand, saying she didn't want to snatch my performance. But just like those unfortunate villainesses in stories, I brought humiliation upon myself, challenging her to perform. Sure enough, Lin Shu immediately showcased her ability on the spot, and was indeed better than me. As a result, both teachers and classmates unanimously agreed for her to perform. Lin Shu was originally the type of person who was easily soft-hearted and found it hard to refuse, so she eventually agreed to participate. Even Zian Shen, who had never cared about such activities, came onto the stage to cheer Lin Shu on. Witnessing that talented and beautiful couple standing under the dazzling stage lights, looking so perfect together, my heart burned with resentment. I couldn't accept why everything had always unfolded this way since childhood. No matter how much I strived, I would always end up as mere background, just to highlight Lin Shu. It was as if all my efforts only served to make her innate talent shine brighter. I also overheard whispers around me. A biological daughter is still a biological daughter. Her aura is completely different. That Diet Shang is said to be the illegitimate child of the stepmother. Even in designer clothes, she's still just an ugly duckling. Lin Shu is so kind, she must be constantly suppressed by that mother-daughter pair. Novels always write it like that. They didn't know the truth, yet they readily attributed evil to me. Just like the first time he met me, Zian Shen automatically assumed I was a spoiled, wayward girl. I once heard him tell Lin Shu, "Stay away from her." Tears streamed down my face, blurring my vision. No longer in the mood to watch the stage, I burst into sobs and ran out of the auditorium. As if to complete the Villainess's blackening arc, I bumped into a group of playboy rich kids from school. They dragged me into a deserted alley, intending to commit despicable acts. I fought back fiercely, with the mindset that death was the only escape. But they chased me all the way to the roadside. Standing at the edge of the road, I saw a large truck speeding towards me, its headlights broken. A thought suddenly flashed in my mind. Those guys were all sons of influential families. Even if they truly humiliated me today, they wouldn't face punishment because no one would stand up for me. So why not take matters into my own hands? The outcome of that day was sensational news spreading online. 3 high school students were struck and killed instantly by a truck while crossing the road at midnight. The accident site was precisely a blind spot for security cameras. They had initially chosen that location to easily commit their crimes, but ironically, it became their final resting place. Perhaps too shocked by the incident, that night I had a long and strange dream. At first, I didn't pay much attention. But then, things from the dream began to happen one after another, making me realize something was amiss. My intuition told me I couldn't just sit back and wait for death, because according to what I saw, my life would be nothing but failure, eventually leading to madness and self-destruction. Meanwhile, the protagonist, Lin Shu, would have an extremely smooth journey in both her career and love. Even when her father engaged in illegal business dealings, she remained completely unaffected. This was merely a small event orchestrated to create an opportunity for the protagonist to go abroad. The ones who truly bore the consequences were my mother and I nominally. We were part of the Lin family. But when the Lin family collapsed, we became hunted debtors, forced to live a life on the run. I was forced to drop out of school, and my mother had to work as a bar hostess to make ends meet. The two of us lived a meager existence in a dark and dirty corner for 7 long years. As for the protagonist, those 7 years were only superficially mentioned in the story with the phrase, 7 years later. A novel would never waste a single drop of ink to describe the suffering of a supporting character, merely glossing over it until the protagonist returned to the country, and I was dragged back in to be her backdrop. My 7 years of hell became a mere plot climax in the eyes of readers. How could I accept that? Therefore, I utilized my foresight, spending a full year to plan. I proactively contacted the Mu family, Lin Shu's father's rivals, accelerating the event that led to the Lin Corporation's bankruptcy. In return, the Mu family gave me 5 million yuan and arranged for me to study abroad. Although my resume couldn't compare to Lin Shu's, thanks to the Mu family's recommendation, coupled with the decline of the Lin family, the sole study abroad opportunity ultimately fell into my hands. Before leaving, recalling the years Ziyan Shen had despised me, I deliberately humiliated him one last time. I drugged him, created a scene of a drunken one-night stand, and then fled before he woke up. To execute my plan, I painstakingly went abroad, trying to create a setting similar to the story where the protagonist meets the renowned designer Qin, hoping to create a fated encounter. Unfortunately, it seems only the protagonist has a halo. The same event yielded completely opposite results when I tried it. Qin showed extreme disdain for me. In the novel, Grandmaster Qin was described as an outstanding and polite person, but when facing me, he became unusually harsh. Initially, he said I had dark intentions and was morally corrupt. Later, he criticized me for having no talent, claiming that accepting me as a student would disgrace him. Despite his outright rejection, I persisted and clung to him for 2 years. Finally, he conceded, reluctantly giving me a chance as an assistant, merely as a test. In reality, he never acknowledged me as a student. However, because I had changed the plot, Qin currently had no other disciples. Furthermore, I was the only one who had stayed with him the longest. If I spread rumors domestically, no one would suspect a thing. The information gap between domestic and international always existed, and Qin was someone who didn't care about the internet. Sister Diet, someone is following us. Before the car turned into the residential area, my assistant announced. I glanced at the car behind us, its intention to follow completely undisguised. The corner of my mouth quirked. Just let him follow. Ziyan Shen, I can't believe after 7 years he's still so persistent. Or is it because I told him I have his child? The car entered the garage and my assistant followed me up to the apartment. It was late and it would be dangerous for her to go home alone, so I told her to stay over. After all, this apartment was very spacious. In truth, this was Qin's home. He said he was lending it to me to prevent waste. Wouldn't you know it, speak of the devil and he shall appear. As I opened the door, I was startled to see Qin sitting in the living room. Teacher, why are you here? As a designer, Qin's aesthetic taste was always impeccable. Even in simple cotton pajamas, he exuded a unique beauty. Under the warm yellow light, his gold-rimmed glasses gave him a slightly gentle, husband-like appearance. But remembering his venomous tongue, I quickly dismissed those random thoughts. Obediently, I approached and asked, "When did you return to the country, teacher?" His eyes behind the glasses rested on me, revealing no emotion. "I heard you are my student." The smile on my lips faded. He already knew. Who told him? Didn't he dislike going online? Sister Diet, Master Qin, I'll excuse myself now. My assistant, sensing the situation was awkward, quickly found an excuse to leave. I worriedly told her to take my car keys. From beginning to end, Qin didn't rush his questions until only the 2 of us remained in the room. It seems your return to the country this time was quite successful, and you don't intend to go back, do you? I don't know if I was overly sensitive, but his tone sounded rather bitter and sarcastic. I quickly forced a laugh, stepping forward to grab his sleeve. Teacher, that's not true at all. Don't touch me. Yes, teacher. Who told you to call me teacher? But you are indeed a senior in the industry. What else should I call you? I suppressed my anger, feigning innocence. Qin stared at me intently, then turned and walked into the bedroom. Teacher, are you going to rest? I've advised you enough. It's already midnight. Since you're back in the country, I won't stay here anymore. It wouldn't look good for an unmarried man and woman to live together for your reputation. I stood in the living room, calling out to him, then turned to grab my bag, preparing to leave. Footsteps sounded behind me. Stay! I turned back. Teacher, do you have any other instructions? He sat on the sofa, gesturing for me to come closer. I thought he wanted to impart some wisdom, but instead, he noticed the red mark on my face and went into the room to get a first aid kit. I watched, stunned, as those beautiful hands carefully opened the kit, clearly intending to apply medicine himself. I felt a little flustered. Teacher, let me do it myself. A cotton swab pressed against my face. Silence. I obediently fell silent. Qin was indeed a strange person. He clearly seemed very impatient with me, yet he had never treated me badly all these years. For example now, he still maintained a cold expression, but his movements were incredibly natural and gentle, completely contrary to his venomous tongue. Getting this close, I realized he was truly very handsome. Over 30, yet excessively youthful. I was slightly dazed. It wasn't until his warm breath was close that I startled awake. Suddenly, our eyes met, the distance barely a fist's width. I jumped up. "Thank you for helping me with the medicine, teacher." A faint smile appeared on Qin Zhai's face, but he said nothing. This silence conveyed his attitude more clearly than words, making me feel as though I had just been belittled. "Then I'll excuse myself now. What's your relationship with that person?" he suddenly asked. I was startled, then immediately guessed something. "Teacher, did you watch my livestream? I thought you would showcase your professional knowledge. Who knew it would turn into a competition for affection, even openly retaliating out of jealousy?" Hearing how he spoke, it was clear he wasn't just disappointed in me, but also displeased with me eliminating Lin Shu. So even if everything changed, Qin Zhai still recognized Lin Shu's talent in the end. I suddenly felt a pang of sadness. It had been a long time since I felt this way. Lin Shu is truly very talented. Haven't you always refused to take students? She's quite good. If you want to contact her, I can give you her phone number. It seems you care a lot about her. I lowered my head, trying to deny it. She's just a junior in the industry. I don't need to pay that much attention. You're jealous of her. His sharp eyes gazed down, creating pressure that made it hard for me to breathe. Because of that Shen guy, his voice grew colder and colder. I never thought you'd dare fabricate a story about having a child in front of so many people because of him. He fell silent for a moment, as if recalling something, his breathing hitched as he probed. Could it be that there was really something between the two of you? Before I could respond, he sneered. Diet Shang, you're impressive. I thought you only had foolish thoughts, but you've been hiding so much. Where is the child? Realizing he was going too far, I quickly interrupted. There's no child at all, I just lied to him. You would deceive someone like that, and he actually believed it. For some reason, Qin Zhai kept pressing. Fearing I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight, I honestly recounted how I had drugged Ziyan Shen that year. After hearing it, Qin Zhai grew even angrier. Interesting. You liked him that much, huh? I didn't know how else to explain. It was just a script. After I sobered up, I didn't like him anymore. Back then, I was naive and blindly followed him because he was rich. But after going abroad, I realized that rich people are as numerous as autumn leaves. Qin Zhai looked at me with disbelief. You mean you only cared about his money? Exactly, I affirmed with a firm nod. He was about to say something, but ultimately just sighed, turned away, and whispered, "Go to sleep." With that, he walked straight into the living room instead of his own room. I hesitated, looking towards my former master bedroom, wondering what Qin Zhai meant. Did he want me to leave, or was he still allowing me to stay? My sleep was never deep, and this room wasn't soundproof. When you shower, please be a little quieter, he said again. The corner of my lips unconsciously curved up. I contentedly returned to the master bedroom. Waking up the next morning, I didn't see Qin Zhai. However, on the dining table was the breakfast he had prepared for me. Without formality, I finished it. Just as I stepped out of the apartment complex, I ran into Ziyan Shen, who intended to take me to Nyan Nyan. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he hadn't slept all night. You want to see her just like that, with no money in your pocket, planning to catch a tiger bare-handed? The moment I finished speaking, I looked up and saw Qin Zhai. It turned out he hadn't left but had gone for a morning run. Now, having just returned and overheard my words, his gaze at me was somewhat complex. Meeting Qin Zhai, I immediately dared not speak carelessly anymore, awkwardly turning my face away. CEO Shen, I was just joking last night. What do you mean? The child isn't mine? Ziyan Shen gritted his teeth. You think I'd believe that? If not mine, then whose is it? He took a deep breath. Don't you just want money? I already said, let's get married. You can have as much money as you want. Have you eaten the breakfast I left on the table? Qin Zhai's voice suddenly cut in. I was slightly surprised, nodding. Yes, I ate it. Although Qin Zhai often spoke sarcastically, he had never before intervened in my conversations with others. Unexpectedly, after returning to the country, he seemed much more relaxed. Breakfast? What's your relationship? Ziyan Shen was very sharp, immediately narrowing his eyes, his gaze full of suspicion as he scrutinized Qin Zhai. Fearing Qin Zhai would expose the fake mentor-disciple relationship, I quickly interjected. What does that have to do with you? Ziyan Shen was speechless. Qin Zhai merely said indifferently, I'll head upstairs first. I came back a bit early today because your hairdryer was too loud last night and I couldn't sleep. The words had barely left his lips before Qin disappeared, and I hadn't even had time to react. Meanwhile, Zian Shen clutched my arm tightly, his face flushed with anger. Are you two living together? A sharp pain shot through my head. Annoyed, I immediately lifted my foot and stomped my high heel hard onto the toe of his leather shoe. What the hell does it have to do with you? Just then, my assistant's car arrived, and I seized the opportunity to get straight in. Having been back in the country for so long, I still hadn't visited my mother, who was obsessed with love. Ever since Lin Shu's father went bankrupt and fell ill, she decisively divorced him. Over the years, thanks to the money I sent her, she no longer went around swindling rich old men into marriage. Truthfully, my mother and I weren't close, but she was still my only relative, so I couldn't ignore her. After 7 years apart, she still maintained a rather good figure and her usual charm. Even though she had been hospitalized a few days prior after a fall, she still had the energy to pull me aside and ask about Zian Shen and me. For years you were abroad, he often came here, cared a lot about me. At first, I thought Lin Shu asked him to, but who knew, now you two even have a child. He visited mother frequently all these years. Yes, and he always asked about your situation. I wondered, what on earth did this man want? I went out to handle my mother's discharge procedures, and from afar I heard a quarrel. It sounded like Lin Shu. If you don't have money, pay your debts, and you dare rent such a luxurious hospital room, do you think I'm stupid? Sir, this is a hospital, please don't make noise. As I reached the door of the hospital room, I saw Lin Shu, a doctor, and several rough-looking middle-aged men struggling. On the bed was the stepfather I hadn't seen in a long time. I truly have no money left. This hospital room was arranged by my friend. Lin Shu was on the verge of tears from worry. The man showed no mercy. I almost forgot, you have a rich young master for a boyfriend, don't you? Isn't your boyfriend very rich? Tell him to pay your debts. No, he's helped me too much over the years, I can't bother him anymore. You don't want to ask him for help, then pay with your body. With that face, you'll surely make money quickly. Those familiar debt collection words strangely matched my dream from 7 years ago, leaving me stunned, unable to move my feet. I silently watched the hospital room before me and Lin Shu's figure. Hospitalization in this place cost tens of thousands of yuan a month. The handbag she was carrying was a new model released last month, worth over 50,000 yuan. The clothes she was wearing, though many times cheaper than before, were still considered luxurious compared to ordinary people. It turned out that even if I changed her life, her fate was not as tragic as mine. She still got into university, studied her favorite major, and wasn't pushed around by life, struggling to make a living in squalid places. I truly envied the protagonist's halo. Don't worry, I'm here. Zian Shen's voice suddenly rang out beside me. Before I could even avoid him, he bumped into me. Diet! He put down his phone, glanced at me, then directed his gaze into the hospital room where Lin Shu stood. Finally, he walked in. As expected, Lin Shu still sought his help. How much does she owe you? Principal and interest, 50 million. All right, I'll pay, don't bother her again. Brother Zian, you don't have to pay for me, I can handle it myself. Lin Shu tried her best to stop him, but Zian Shen had already torn up the debt papers and sent those people away. A man reeking of cigarette smoke brushed past me, his eyes teasing, his tone vulgar. Beautiful, can I have your WeChat? Before he could finish, Zian Shen, without me knowing when, had lunged forward, throwing a kick that sent the man sprawling to the ground. Do you have a death wish? The remaining men immediately charged, starting a brawl. I quietly retreated a few steps. Lin Shu bit her lip, her eyes red-rimmed, glanced at me once, then ran to break up the fight. Eventually, the police arrived and dispersed the crowd. They asked if I knew any of those people, implying that if I was involved, I'd have to go to the station. I quickly waved my hands. No, I don't know them, I was just passing by. Zian Shen looked at me, the corner of his lips slightly upturned, his eyes a little dark. Lin Shu couldn't help but speak up. Diet Shang, even though you altered my study abroad application that year, I still believe you had your own difficulties. I always saw you as my older sister, and my father always treated you like his own daughter. Pausing to reflect, I truly had underestimated her. I looked at her as if she were a fool. Always seeing me as your little sister. Oh, that favor bestowed from above, am I supposed to be endlessly grateful? Did you truly see me as a sister when you stole my performance opportunity? Did you truly see me as a sister when you saw me fabricating stories about bullying at school, and you just silently watched from the sidelines, pretending to be innocent, simply saying, I don't know, to shirk all responsibility? Did you truly see me as your own daughter when the study abroad opportunity was exclusively for Lin Shu? Everything Lin Shu had, her clothes, food, education, was immeasurably better than mine. Lin Shu's birthday was celebrated lavishly, while mine received nothing more than a simple birthday wish. It's not that I couldn't accept the differential treatment. After all, I wasn't his biological child. But what disgusted me was that despite such obvious injustices, the whole world forced me to say it was fair, then turned around and criticized me for being ungrateful, just so I could paint a picture of their fake goodness. The design competition Lin Shu participated in afterwards still proceeded smoothly. The day she won first prize, her name immediately soared to the top of search rankings. Some thought she cheated, while others felt she deserved it. Despite lingering controversies, Lin Shu had, more or less, gained some reputation in the industry. With Zian Shen's backing, a novice designer like her quickly organized her own fashion show. Zian Shen's protective and supportive presence was evident in all her successes. The favoritism was too obvious, yet for some reason, Zian Shen kept coming to me. He stubbornly believed I was hiding his child, insisting on marriage at all costs. Annoyed to the point of madness by him, I finally had to bring Nyan out in front of him. Seeing that the little girl bore no resemblance to himself, his expression became extremely unpleasant. Not my child and not yours either, I thought to myself, but outwardly I merely shrugged. I told you I was tricking you, but you just wouldn't believe it. Whose child is it? Qin Zhai. Over time, he had investigated and discovered Qin Zhai's identity. Can't you tell just by looking at her face? I deliberately beat around the bush. Nyan truly was a blood relative of Qin Zhai, but only his cousin. Zian Shen gnashed his teeth, shot me a sideways glance, then vanished without a trace. The next encounter was a high school reunion. Lin Shu also attended. After a few months, she had changed dramatically. She no longer possessed the fragile demeanor of a white lotus, but exuded the aura of a successful businesswoman. The moment I walked in, I heard everyone incessantly praising her. But as soon as they saw me, the crowd immediately forgot Lin Shu and vied to flatter me. After all, compared to her, my reputation was far more resounding. Wasn't it ridiculous? How much they looked down on me in school? Now they flipped so quickly, no shame. Diet Shang, I heard you're famous overseas, really impressive, you've reached an international level? Lin Shu's face showed displeasure. Seeing this, Ning Jiao immediately cut in. No matter how talented, she's still just a plagiarist. Someone stole Lin Shu's opportunity and still dares to swagger around proudly. The sarcasm was obvious. The crowd fell silent but was inwardly eager for drama. Zian Shen frowned. That's enough. Today is a reunion where all old friends don't cause trouble. Everyone's gazes became strange, looking at him, then at me and Lin Shu. As if recalling the old love triangle, someone deliberately fanned the flames. I heard that after the Lin family faced difficulties, brother Yan was always there to help. Such deep affection must be getting married soon, right? Lin Shu covertly glanced at Zian Shen, her face slightly flushed with shyness. Everyone's eyes then turned to me, waiting to see my reaction. But from beginning to end, I just focused on eating and drinking, occasionally sipping some wine generously offered by Zian Shen. Miss Lin and I are just friends. To me, she's like a little sister. Please don't speculate. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone looked bewildered and astonished. Catching Zian Shen's fleeting glance at me, everyone immediately looked over, cautiously asking, Diet Shang, you and brother Yan. Lin Shu's face darkened, almost on the verge of tears. Sitting next to her, Ning Jiao couldn't tolerate it anymore and jumped up. Diet Shang, I've recently investigated something. She suddenly spoke loudly, immediately drawing everyone's attention. Qin Zhai has never taken any disciples at all. You truly are a habitual liar, completely fabricating things. You merely took advantage of Grandmaster Qin's absence abroad, his unawareness of news, and then spent money on fake advertisements to promote yourself. The moment she finished speaking, everyone buzzed with discussion. Zian Shen still maintained a calm expression. He slightly lowered his head, seemingly uninterested in this topic. Diet Shang, is that true? You're really not Grandmaster Qin's disciple? Ning Jiao interrupted. She'll deny everything, just watch. Everyone, stop asking. If she has the guts, tell Grandmaster Qin to show up or call him for a live video chat right here. That's right, that's right. Everyone chorused in agreement. They pretended to be concerned for my integrity. For your good name, it's best to call him. Otherwise, if this rumor spreads, your reputation will be affected. What a bunch of hypocrites. I sneered inwardly, took out my phone, and made a WeChat video call to Qin Zhai. Qin Zhai was a person of very regular habits. I even thought he would be asleep by now, but he answered immediately. I was a bit startled, wondering how to speak without giving too much away. I just needed him not to deny me calling him teacher. But he spoke first. "It's late, and you're not home. Where are you gallivanting? Didn't I tell you to come home early?" Just now, at everyone's request, I had turned on screen sharing mode. At this moment, everyone clearly saw Grandmaster Qin, freshly showered, standing in a messy room full of women's clothes, his face handsome to the point of envy, seriously scolding me. I almost blurted out asking why Qin Zhai was in my room but forced a shy smile. "Teacher, please don't call me teacher." My face was stiff, while the crowd was extremely excited, the kind of excitement one gets from watching good drama. But immediately after, he added, "Don't think that just calling me teacher will make me stop being angry. Teacher, I'm at a class reunion, all my friends are here." I intentionally emphasized, hinting at the situation. Qin Zhai was silent for a moment, probably understanding my hint. He closed the door and walked out to the living room. "It rained heavily just now. I was just helping you bring the clothes that were drying on the balcony inside. Since your room was a bit messy, I tidied up a bit while I was at it." The more he spoke, the more he messed things up. My face darkened. Was this man genuinely lacking in emotional intelligence, or was he intentionally trying to sabotage me? Initially, when Qin Zhai said his first sentence, everyone thought he was an upperclassman showing concern for a junior, but with his further explanation, didn't it expose the fact that Qin Zhai and I were living together, and the messy pile of clothes displayed on screen were mine? In reality, my room was usually very clean. It was just that tonight I had planned to dress elaborately to impress my old friends, so I had ransacked my wardrobe. I just hadn't had time to tidy up before leaving. No need for further explanation. Everyone had already pieced everything together in their heads. After I hung up, the entire table was silent for a moment. Someone awkwardly spoke up. "So, you and Grandmaster Qin have such a relationship?" Suddenly, a crash echoed, the sound of a glass breaking on the floor startling everyone. Zian Shen unexpectedly stood up, his face dark. "I have something to do, I'll be leaving." Everyone said nothing, but their eyes on me were full of meaning. I knew they misunderstood that Zian Shen liked me, but that didn't harm me, so I wouldn't clarify. As expected, after Zian Shen left, someone spoke up. "Diet Shang, I think Brother Yan has feelings for you." I smiled gently, softly replying, "Then there's nothing I can do because I already have someone I like." As I stepped out of the club, I was about to call a taxi when I was suddenly pulled back by someone. It was Zian Shen. I don't know what got into him. Without a word, he tightly embraced me. My face was cold. "Let go." "I won't." Zian Shen held me tightly in his arms. "Diet Shang, I lost. Please don't be with anyone else." "So what if you lost? Is it such a big deal? Do you have overbearing CEO syndrome? If you're sick, go see a doctor." "I admit I like you. You used to like me too, right? This return of yours is just to provoke me, isn't it? Your so-called liking is just a joke." Yes, I was too slow to understand. Before, I had wrong prejudices about you, always thinking I hated you. But the truth is, through every time I paid attention to you, I've long since fallen in love with you. I didn't want to hear another word. I was about to raise my knee to strike his vulnerable spot when suddenly a strong force from outside shoved Zian Shen away. It was Qin Zhai. "Teacher, why are you here?" Qin Zhai pulled me behind him. "Am I interrupting you too?" His voice was a little bitter, but I knew who truly cared about me, so I smiled and replied, "No, you came at just the right time." Just then, the group of classmates also poured out of the club. Seeing the scene with the three of us, especially witnessing Qin Zhai hitting Zian Shen, everyone's eyes widened in astonishment. Fearing things would get even more chaotic, I quickly pulled Qin Zhai back. "Stop fighting, let's go home." At this, Qin Zhai regained his usual calm and gentle demeanor. By the time we got home, it was past 1 a.m. This was the first time I had seen Qin Zhai stay up so late. As I applied medicine to his hand, he nodded off to sleep. His head tilted down, resting in the hollow of my neck. I lost my balance, falling backward. Ultimately, both of us fell onto the couch. His warm breath on my neck gave me goosebumps. I intended to wake him up, but looking at his tired face, I ultimately couldn't bring myself to. After a struggle, perhaps due to the wine I had drunk earlier, the more I looked at him, the more improper thoughts arose. Qin Zhai was 32, but in all these 7 years I had never seen him date anyone. So handsome, why didn't he love anyone? I wondered if he had ever kissed anyone. As I thought this, my hand landed on his lips. His breathing suddenly hitched, then he subtly parted his lips, and my finger slipped inside. This completely new sensation made my heart pound wildly. It must have been the effect of the alcohol. Otherwise, how could I be so greedy for Qin Zhai's beauty? As if possessed, by the time I regained my senses, I had propped myself up, lightly touching his lips with mine. The handsome face directly before me suddenly opened its eyes, startling me. Just as I was about to cry out, the very next second, he stole my breath, taking the initiative. Men entering their 30s, especially those who had never been intimate with women, truly brimmed with vitality. They showed no signs of fatigue all night long. When I looked out the window and saw the first rays of dawn, my throat was parched. I'm utterly exhausted, let's sleep. You sleep, I still have work. The fact that he could utter such words with a serious expression truly impressed me. In the end, I drifted off to sleep from sheer exhaustion. I don't know what stimulated Lin Shu to frantically release new designs, spending heavily on media and advertising. Even from France, I continuously received updates about her from home. All of them were praises of her talent, hailing her as a design genius. That drive seemed intent on surpassing me at all costs. But one day, Qin Zhai took a newspaper from my hand, scanned it, and calmly said, "She seems to be plagiarizing." I was surprised. "Lin Shu, are you very surprised?" "Truly surprised. Lin Shu is the protagonist, why would she copy someone else?" Qin Zhai held me close, gently kissing me. "I happen to know the original designer. He's a very talented person but not widely known. He once sent his works for me to see. I don't know how Lin Shu got hold of the blueprints." I knew Qin Zhai wasn't one to speak without basis, so with a mentality of waiting for a good show, I agreed to return to the country with him. Since getting to know me, Qin Zhai had become more affectionate and less venomous in his speech. Understanding my desires, knowing what I wanted to do, of course, he didn't refuse. He merely said, "If you put those trivial thoughts into your work, you will certainly go much further." "Grandmaster Qin, have you misunderstood me? From the very beginning, I never intended to become a top designer in the industry. After all, I don't have Qin Zhai's talent. All I want is to become someone who can earn a lot of money. It's precisely because I didn't misunderstand that I didn't accept you as a disciple." "You didn't accept me because you had ulterior motives for me, didn't you? Is it harder to act as master and student?" Qin Zhai's gaze at me was profound. "You've gotten very good at arguing lately. It seems you still have a lot of energy." "Teacher, I'm still young. Please have mercy, let me off." I hastily broke free from him, ran straight to my room, and slammed the door shut. Soon after returning to the country, Lin Shu's plagiarism scandal was exposed. However aggressively the media had promoted her before, now it caused an equally massive backlash. Immediately, she was shunned by everyone. The new product press conference that was being prepared had to be urgently canceled. All the clothing designs she had created for the shopping mall were taken down due to concerns about being linked to plagiarism. Netizens criticized her severely, and shop owners, fearing implication, dared not display her items. Even the old classmates buzzed with gossip, constantly questioning Lin Shu about the situation. She remained completely silent, not a single word of explanation, as if she had disappeared from the face of the earth. 2 days later, my name reappeared on the top search rankings. Someone spread information that I had obtained my study abroad opportunity by stealing it from Lin Shu. They rumored that I was merely the illegitimate child of the stepmother, and out of envy for Lin Shu, I had snatched her resume to study abroad. As for Lin Shu, due to family matters, she had missed her chance for development. Before long, everyone completely forgot about Lin Shu's plagiarism. All criticism was directed towards me. Some questioned, others cursed. The slander was incredibly offensive. Qin Zhai's expression was even worse than mine. He snatched my phone. "Don't worry, I'll handle this," I laughed. "Why would I worry? An innocent person fears no gossip. And what are these minor online troubles anyway?" When Zian Shen called, I was sorting through my old study abroad documents. "Even if you were wrong that year, I can help you." What a fool. Just seeing his name made me uncomfortable. I immediately blocked his number and sent my documents to Qin Zhai. In reality, his family background was very wealthy, and he had a close friend in the media industry who said he could help me clarify everything. In less than a day, news clarifying the study abroad applications of Lin Shu and me quickly topped the search rankings. A university friend of mine from abroad posted an article with both my and Lin Shu's scholarship application documents, along with the review records. It clearly stated that the school had received two separate applications that year, one from me and one from Lin Shu. I asserted that I had not falsified Lin Shu's application and had not hindered her application. Not only did marketing pages share this post, but my overseas university also published it to clear my name. In the blink of an eye, the truth was proven, and the rumors completely dissipated. Qin even thoughtfully directed the spread of rumors that Lin Shu herself was behind the posts defaming me on social media. As a result, Lin Shu continued to suffer a heavy wave of criticism, to the extent that she had to hide in the hospital, crying painfully by her father's sickbed. Despite this, professional paparazzi still found her whereabouts and stealthily infiltrated the hospital to ambush her. Their cameras pointed directly at her father. Someone recognized him as the man who had been condemned years ago for withholding workers' wages. Immediately, both father and daughter were harshly criticized. Lin Shu's career was as good as over. When Ziyan Shen called me on a new number, I was engrossed in sketching the design for an outfit I was creating exclusively for Qin. "I'm sorry, Diet Shang, I misunderstood you all this time." As soon as I heard his voice, I immediately hung up. This Ziyan Shen was truly too annoying. After some thought, I decided to call CEO Mu, whom I hadn't contacted in a long time. "Aren't you always annoyed with Ziyan Shen? I'll lend you a hand, what do you think?" CEO Mu was silent for a moment, then unexpectedly asked, "How do you always know these things? Just leave it to me. If you trust me, just follow along." Even if I told him he was originally the villain and I knew the entire plot, would he believe it? The Mu family was not an easy opponent. Within just 1 year, they had pushed Ziyan Shen's company to the brink of bankruptcy. A romance male lead like him, facing such a major crisis for the first time in his life, was almost completely shattered. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't understand why the Mu Corporation always knew his next moves, even guessing the exact floor bid price when he was about to auction off a piece of land. He suspected an internal mole in the company, but searched everywhere and found nothing, driving him to madness. At our wedding, Qin held me, but a hint of sadness flickered across his face. "Why did you invite him here? He'll only spoil our happy day." I also didn't expect him to be so shameless. That shameless person, Ziyan Shen, before leaving that day, said something to me. He said, "I've had 2 dreams. The scenes and settings were almost identical, but the outcomes were different. The turning point was at that New Year's Eve party that year." He silently looked at me. "I remember hearing that you were supposed to perform on stage that year, but in the end, it was Lin Shu. Lin Shu said she was scared and asked me to go up with her. I was on stage and saw you run out. Since that day, your attitude towards me changed. Diet Shang, have you also had a dream?" I held myself still, trying to appear calm, my meaning profound. "Everything has come to an end. It's useless for you to say these things now." The drama had reached its conclusion. Even if he wanted to rely on prophetic dreams to change everything, it would no longer have any effect. After marrying Qin, I met his parents a few times, but they seemed largely uninterested in us, preferring to enjoy their own lives. Consequently, we usually lived abroad in our small, happy marital home. Once, Qin was invited to a university as a guest professor, and I accompanied him. I sat in the auditorium, listening as a foreign friend asked him in French, "How did you two meet and fall in love?" He replied with his characteristic Western humor, "At that time, she really gave me a headache. I fell in love with her at first sight and just wanted to take her home as my wife, but she adamantly insisted I had to be her teacher."